From the beginning, life feels simple. A child plays, explores, laughs. There is no idea of success or failure. Then the world introduced something new: scores, grades, rewards, comparison. Come first, do better, make everyone proud. When the child succeeds, there is praise. When the child fails, there is silence or sadness. The child learns that value depends on results. Small wins create pride, small losses create fear, and the inner story quietly begins. As life continues, the examples change: school, friends, fitting in, being noticed. Later comes work, success, respect, but the pattern is the same: trying to stay ahead, trying not to be seen as less. This is how the burden forms, not because life is heavy, but because everything is measured. And the attachment does not stop there. The story attaches to the body. It feels as if this body is mine. The body must stay young, must stay strong, must not change. But the body does change. It ages, it gets sick, it feels pain, and the story feels threatened. Loss brings sorrow, change brings fear, not because change is wrong, but because the picture cannot accept it. Even pride comes from this image. It feels like a reward, yet it rises from the same fragile picture that fears being less. There comes a point when the same image that collects, compares, competes, and wants to be seen as more also begins to look for freedom. Not freedom from the world, freedom from the restless inside. So it starts another chase, a cleaner chase, a spiritual chase. The image wants to be peaceful, to be wise, to be enlightened. Another goal, another achievement, another version of becoming someone. The same movement, wearing different clothes. The same effort now pointing toward truth. The same me, wanting a better me. This must be seen before anything else. Because when the mind seeks freedom as an accomplishment, it only strengthens the one who feels unfree. Freedom appears when the image of oneself has no ground left to stand on. When that happens, even the word freedom loses value because nothing remains that wants to be free. A parent may say, "She's all grown up." That single statement reveals the entire mechanism. A program has formed. The program that was absent when the child was small has slowly developed, and now the program speaks on behalf of itself. Another statement appears. She is still the same. What is that same? It is not the body that has changed completely, not the habits, vocabulary, or tendencies. All of that evolved. There is no memory of birth, no memory of being 1 year old. Programming is simply the repeated movement of thought, habit, and memory that forms the sense of a self. Recognition happens through that programming. The parent recognize through their own programming. What is seen as form is interpreted entirely through that learned pattern. Before language and identity, there was still form, pregnancy, birth, growth, but none of it carried a story in itself. The story appears only in the parent's mind. This is mine. She is a girl. He is a boy. She is growing. She is becoming. The life growing in the stomach does not carry that story. It simply grows, it simply exists. The story belongs entirely to the mind that observes, interprets, and names it. Parents are no different. They were once without memory, without identity, without a story. What they know of themselves is stitched from the same programming, and that program keeps expanding. Marriage, loss, success, failure, new layers in the same stitched narrative. As the program expands, it only creates the sense of needing freedom, freedom from fear, freedom from desire, freedom from loneliness, freedom from suffering, freedom from death, freedom from life, freedom from its own demands. All of these arise inside the same story. The child never learned independence in the natural way life moves in other species. A bird is fed by its parent without a center claiming the act. No story of I raised you, no expectation of return, no future obligation. When the moment comes, nature moves and the young ones flies. But in the human program, dependence becomes identity, roles form, expectation accumulate, relationships create anchors, desire creates tensions, fear arises from the imagined loss of what the program holds on to. The program leans on others for meaning, comfort, validation, continuity, and then suffer from the very dependency it creates. This structure gives rise to the search for freedom, but the search remains within the same boundaries that produce the longing. Only what is known is revised. Reality as it is remains unnoticed, but rarely recognized because the program keeps interpreting itself. There is no becoming in freedom. Freedom is simply the absence of the imagined center the program created. And that freedom has no will, no intention, no direction. Like wind that does not identify with the flag it moves. The movement carries its own intelligence without anyone driving it. Beneath all movement, untouched and unclaimed, there is a clarity that has always been present. It does nothing. It belongs to no one. It is not an activity. It is simply the presence in which the mind's movement appears. When the mind's movement is taken as real, this clarity is unnoticed. Not absent, just unnoticed. When the movement loses authority, the clarity stands obvious, but not as recognition, not as discovery, not as a new state. This happens only when the movement is not followed, not by forcing the mind to be still, not by creating a method or technique. Let the thoughts arise, let them pass, observe them without taking them personally. Do not interfere, do not try to hold or change anything. Simply allow the movement to be itself while staying unclaimed, untouched, present. The clarity is already here. It has never moved. It has never left. It does not depend on following or controlling the mind. When the mind stops following itself, freedom is obvious, already present, already complete.